Go ahead.
Mahatma Gandhi once said, "You don't know who is important to you until you actually lose them." Many others have quoted this exact same thing or some variation of it, and you have probably heard it at some point or another. I know I have, but it was not until I was living it that I actually felt what these people were telling me was true. We must always remember that our time with family and friends is limited and never take for granted the memories they leave with us. When we accept that we never see tomorrow with them, we will begin to appreciate our time. I learned this the hard way when it came to the loss of my grandfather. He passed away thinking I was ashamed and appreciative of him. I was left with guilt, and in the end, the only person I was ashamed of was myself. In the earlier years of my childhood, I loved my grandfather. I trusted him like I trusted many adults because they were inherently smarter than I was. Some of my fondest childhood memories were when my mother would take me to visit him. He always remembered our birthdays, and I would always find a little surprise waiting for me when I arrived. He had very little money, and even at a young age, I knew the importance of money. Every card, candy, or balloon meant so much to me because of that fact. I never knew when I was going to see my grandfather next, but I always awaited the day. Visits were scattered throughout the years, and I never knew where we were going to see him, whether it be a park or the hospital. As I got older, so did he, which is only to be expected. Being a teenager is complicated, as it is, which I'm sure most people can relate to. I became busy with school and friends and started seeing him less and less. The birthday cards he sent got tossed to the side. When I finally would see my grandfather, I started noticing things that I had as a child. My grandfather had severe mental disabilities. I became embarrassed and uncomfortable of his presence. After years of my grandfather being the strong, compassionate figure in my life, he got knocked down to a sad, lonely old man that I didn't want to be seen in public with. I later realized that this had nothing to do with him, but my own insecurities. When my grandfather became incapable of living on his own, my mother took him in to live with us, and I was overwhelmed and infuriated by this. I could not stand living with him. I locked myself in my room when it was just the two of us home. He would ramble and pace the house and say things like, "This isn't Pleasant Hill, this is Unpleasant Hill." For the most part, I ignored his existence. I would not allow friends to come over in fear that they would laugh at him for being alone and in turn make